Welcome to another edition of Tuscaloosa Talks. I'm here at one of the really the great places in Tuscaloosa. It does so much for our community, and that's the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter. And I'm joined by Jennifer and Thomas. Glad that you could be with us on Tuscaloosa Talks. Before we get started talking about the amazing mission of this place, just introduce yourselves to the community.
Sure. I'm Jennifer Earp. I'm the executive director here at Metro Animal Shelter.
Okay, how long have you been here, Jennifer?
24 years.
I know it's felt like I've worked with you during my whole tenure as mayor. So, and what did you start when you were 5?
Yes. So I started when I was 18. I had a passion working with animals. I also had a passion to teach. And I actually got to combine a little bit of both here. We have a lot of speaking engagements. I love to speak. But as we grew here, so did I. And just changed positions year after year and ultimately decided to work in management.
Well, your passion has truly led us, the city of Northport, Tuscaloosa County, to continue to invest in this amazing place. So thank you for all you do for our community. Thomas, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Sahm. At the shelter, I recently segued into the development and outreach position. I've been working here for almost 6 years now. Love animals, so it was kind of natural for me. As soon as I graduated from the university, I was like, okay, well, there's an open position, and I just love animals and being here and, helping the animals get out. It's such an amazing experience.
Well, you're very good at your job, because when I saw you at an event recently, you said, you handed me your card and said, why haven't you done a podcast from the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter? And that's a really good question. And I'm glad you did say that, because I just got to let you know, as I was mentioning before we started, I've got a very personal bias with this place. My dog, Lucy Girl, who we'll be showing a picture of at some point in this podcast, for those that will be looking at it through the video portion of it. We got here at the Tuscaloosa Animal Shelter, and Lucy is 11 now. She was 3 when we got Lucy Girl, and just love her. And she still yaps like she did the day we got her. In fact, as I was kidding with y'all, my wife got Lucy. I wanted another dog, but obviously the boss won. And so Lucy's been with us, and she's been such an incredible gift to our family and to our lives. And you make those, I'm sure you hear those stories all the time.
We do, and we love hearing them every time somebody gives us an update about the animal that they adopted and how well it's worked out with their family. And a lot of people are always thankful. They're like, oh, we're so happy that we came down to the shelter and got this dog because we're so in love with them.
Well, so let's talk about that. How do you, to me, it would be impossible to work here. I love animals. And, a lot of these animals that come here, they come from very difficult situations. How do you handle that?
It's challenging. We have a lot of open conversations with our staff, with anyone coming in wishing to have a conversation with us. The more you understand about what we do, the more you understand about what it takes to get to where we are. It really sways opinion. I think, anyone that might have trouble coming to the shelter, we hear that a lot is, I can't come down. It's heartbreaking. But we try to give opportunities to show animals online, to show them on social media. But again, the more we do.
But how do you deal with it from day to day? I mean, I don't think as a I don't know, consumer is the right word, but our family came and we picked Lucy Girl out. It was a great experience, a fantastic experience. Yeah. But you, every single day, you deal with some challenging, dogs and cats. How do you handle that personally?
Well, you certainly have to have other things outside of the shelter environment. I have kids, and they're actively involved in sports and several things in their school. So, having something outside of the shelter, I love to read. I love outdoor activities. I can't sit still most of the time, even when I'm at home. And so that's how I deal. I try to disconnect when I can. If you don't, you literally take the work home with you every single day.
I could see where you can, because they're so vulnerable.
Yes. We go home, we have conversations, we'll talk to each other at night sometimes, about this very same thing, is how can we get the staff to disconnect as well, and keep up that morale.
So Thomas, how about you? How do you deal with it?
I try to focus on the good that we do. One good example is we had a dog named Shelby. I remember I came in that morning to the shelter, and she was literally, she had an embedded chain on her neck. Somebody had tied her to our front door, and she was with a puppy. And when I first came up, I was helping that morning, and she was being, kind of aggressive towards me, and I was like, well, that's not good. So we couldn't even approach, the staff couldn't even go to the door because this dog was being very vicious towards us. But once we got her inside, we unfortunately had to put her on a control stick, but once we got her inside, she calmed down. She saw that we were, nice, and she realized that we were going to help her, and, we sent her to the vet, and, she became very sweet, and the sweet lady in the community adopted her, and she brings her by all the time now. That's and awesome. Says, hey, check her out. Look how great she's doing. And, she was heartworm positive when she came here. She's been treated. She's negative now. But focusing on those situations really helps me kind of get over a lot of the sad situations that we see here, because we do a lot of good, and a lot of animals who come here, it's their second chance, and we work very hard. Like Jennifer was mentioning previously, we have a lot of injured animals that have come in recently, so giving them a second chance is very important to us.
Now, has COVID had any impact on y'all's operations? Did COVID increase the number, decrease the number?
Earlier on, we actually had more people willing to foster, willing to volunteer. So our general intake and outcome numbers actually didn't fluctuate too much during the 2-year period, but the overwhelming support we received, I just felt like more people were at home and had some time, and we just had so many opportunities to make new connections with people, and that certainly had helped.
One of the things that I think is really great about this organization is that you receive funding from all 3 local governments, yes. City of Northport, Tuscaloosa County Commission, and the City of Tuscaloosa. How have you been able to build that relationship? Because it wasn't always that way, and now you have equal partners that are enthusiastic about what goes on here.
Yes. Well, it's just showing them what we can do, and not just telling them, but actually showing them through not only increased outcomes, but developing partnerships in our community. And the more you develop those relationships, the more supportive people are, and the more you're going to hear about the positive things that we do. And that's very important to us. And having open conversations with everybody from each government. Mm-hmm. We try so hard to do that. The more we can inform you all of what we're doing every day, the greater understanding that you will have. And the more understanding you have, the more passionate you will be too.
Absolutely.
So we're always excited.
Passion can get things done. There is no doubt about it. So, Thomas, it's not just the local governments that contribute here. You guys depend upon the community itself. Talk about how the community can get involved here, both in terms of financial donations, but also volunteerism.
So we actually have a lot of support of the community, which we're very blessed for. A prime example is Sessions Bar. They donate to us every quarter along with Tito's, so we get big support from them. We have lots of volunteers, whether it's just members of the community, university students. They love to volunteer here, so having them come down and help us out, right now we're really short-staffed, so when we get volunteers here that can take care of the more tedious stuff that the staff have to do, like help us with dishes or doing the laundry, it really frees up the staff to work with the animals and making sure, the animals are getting all the care that they need.
So on average, how many animals do you have on a daily basis? What's your census?
It's a lot.
Sorry, Thomas.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. We have 108 cages, dog cages on that side. They're always full. In fact, we're usually in overflow, especially this time of year. So it's pretty rough for us.
So if you want to volunteer, you can volunteer.
Yep.
And if you wanted to give money, where would you give the money to?
You can go to metroanimalshelter.org. We have a donate link on there, and we're always posting fundraisers for different animals. If you want to, support a specific animal or a specific cause, you can check our Facebook page out too.
Okay, and y'all are just at Druid City Arts Festival, so you're always out there in the community.
Yep.
So we're out every day. We actually just completed an event with Bissell Pet Foundation. It ended yesterday. And you asked about numbers, so just to put a little bit in perspective, we did 135 adoptions from May 2nd to May 15th, and that was the 2-week adoption event with Bissell Pet Foundation. In that same period of what's been entered in our system already, we're at 163 intake. It just kind of puts into perspective the turnover. When 1 comes out, 3 come in, or 5 come in. And it's a daily struggle of finding an outcome fast enough so we can continue to help more.
So what can the community do to slow the intake?
I'm so glad that you asked. So we've moved to a community-centric model, meaning we don't want the shelter to always be the first place that people think about when it comes to either looking for a lost dog or general pet surrender. There are now more opportunities to rehome the animal yourself. Like, we have a system called home to home. And if you are struggling, if you just feel like you have no other alternative, you can post your animal on our direct website yourself and complete an adoption yourself without the animal ever having to come into the shelter.
That's
So
cool.
that's one option. The other options are, if you find a pet, post on Facebook, post on social media. Most animals that are missing from their home, truly missing, are only 1 to 2 miles on average away from their home. Knock on doors. Visit all those social media sites devoted to missing pets. Look, see if there are, other animals nearby that they may be running with. The odds are they're truly missing. You can probably find that owner within an hour or so.
I never thought about that, how you can leverage social media. Fortunately, Lucy's never gotten out, or we've had to go, well, she's gotten out, but we've never had to go, has never been missing. I never thought about how social media could be such a great tool.
Yes. Well, we're moving from, like, all of our programs, which are vital to our operations, like fostering, reclaiming, adoptions, all at transfer and rescue transport. All of those are vital, but they're all very reactive programs. So we all got together and we were thinking, hey, we need to be more proactive. How do we keep animals from coming in? And even animal control plays a vital part in that. If we can rehome or find the animals during the field services portion before the animal ever comes, that is huge to reducing our intake. So if an animal has a microchip or a rabies tag, having the officers contact the individual while still in the field. That also allows them to develop relationships as well before the animal comes in, and that just creates a stronger community for them as well. So it's a win-win.
Well, okay, before we close, I got to ask this question. Ever had an animal get loose that took you a long time to get them back?
Personally? Or
Yeah, here, yes.
Yes.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
What's your best story?
Well, we actually we have one going on now. Yes. So we have this little guy, one of our fosters, passionate about helping every animal that they have. Cowboy is the dog's name. And she took this little guy home, frightened dog, but super sweet, just very frightened. And the community has been so involved in trying to locate him. They've actually located him, but they have not been able to get their hands on him quite yet. But it's just awesome, to see everyone come together, and you see all the comments, on Facebook, and just seeing everybody be so helpful and, trying to catch him. But, this guy was just terrified. He needed to get out of the shelter. And, he was just trying to make it himself at home, and he just got a little scared the last storm that we have, and he got out.
Well, Lucy was here a few months, and thunderstorms still terrify her, and I know that's a common among all animals. So, but it's something we know as a family. Everybody says it's gonna be okay, Lucy. I mean, we're all rallied around her, and I think that's one of the important things that you guys do is that you certainly show what compassion looks like every single day, and it's really inspiring to all of us. I'm farthest thing from a preacher, but God created animals before He created us. There has to be a purpose in that, and what you do humanely and compassionately, you guys are rock stars. So thank you for what y'all do every single day. And Thomas, remind everyone again, if you want to volunteer or give money, how can you do that?
You just go to metroanimalshelter.org, and we have links for everything, including if you're missing your pet or anything, we list those on our website too. So definitely, when it's animal related, go to metroanimalshelter.org.
Okay, I think you see there's great things going on here. If you're looking to make a difference, whether volunteering or financially, check out Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter. They're doing amazing work here. I think you'll be impressed by what they do for Tuscaloosa. This has been another edition of Tuscaloosa Talks.